The Emergency Equipment Use Invoice, also known as the OF-286, is the authorizing document to process payments to contractors and cooperators. Incident personnel play a key role in ensuring emergency equipment use invoices are accurate. Completing the Emergency Equipment Use Invoice requires resource orders, equipment shift tickets, agreements, and any other backup documentation, such as general message forms, equipment inspection forms, or check-in forms. These forms are commonly collected and filed in the equipment use envelope, which becomes the official file of record. Before entering information on the emergency equipment use invoice, verify the equipment physically presented at the incident matches the resource order, the agreement or contract, and the pre-use inspection. Now that we have the necessary forms, let's walk through the steps to complete an emergency equipment use invoice. The information for Block 1, contractor name and address, can be found on the agreement. Be sure to add the DUNS or SAMI number in Block 1B. These are identifiers that are unique to contractors and cooperators and can be found in the agreement. Block 2, incident or project name, can be found on the resource order. The incident number should also be included in this block. Block 3, agreement number, is completed using the information from the agreement or contract. Note that the awarded agreement number should be used and not the solicitation number. Block 4, effective dates of agreement, and Block 5, equipment, can be found in the agreement and should also be cross-referenced with the resource order and inspection sheets as mentioned previously. Block 6, point of hire, will also come from the agreement. If this is an Incident Blanket Purchase Agreement, also known as an IBPA, this information will be included with the schedule of items from the agreement. Block 7, date of hire, and Block 8, time of hire, can be found on the resource order, but should also be verified with the check-in information and shift tickets. Block 9, Administrative Office for Payment, is generally the host agency for the incident, or the agency responsible for processing payments. If you have questions, direct them to the Finance Section Chief, the Incident Business Advisor, or the Host Unit Administrative Officer. Block 10, Operating Supplies, and Block 11, Operator Furnished By, are marked according to the agreement. The information for Block 12 will be found in the resource order. Blocks 13 through 18 will use a combination of information from the emergency equipment shift ticket and from the agreement. Block 13 represents the days and times worked on the incident and will come from the emergency equipment shift ticket. Block 14, work or daily rate, will come from the agreement. Daily rates are the most common unit for agreements, but agreements could also include hourly rates, double shifts, mileage, or other miscellaneous items, such as copying, printing, or gallons used. These would be included in Block 15, special rate. Block 16, total amount earned, calculates the daily amount from the work rate and special rate. Block 17, guarantee, refers to a minimum daily amount awarded to a resource and can be found in the agreement. Block 18 provides a total amount for each line item. The resource will be paid the amount of Block 16 or Block 17, whichever is greater. Block 19, charge code, refers to the fire code which can be found on the resource order. Block 20, object code, is generally left blank and completed by the payment center. Block 21 should be completed at the time the resource leaves the incident. It is important to correctly indicate whether the equipment was released or withdrawn, as there may be pay adjustments. Block 22 will include any special remarks that the incident needs to communicate to the payment center, such as R&R days or equipment breakdowns. Blocks 23, 24, and 25 provide the invoice totals. If the invoice is more than one page, Block 24 provides the carryover subtotal from the previous page. Block 26, deductions, may include expenses such as fuel or equipment parts. These expenses will require additional documentation, which is provided as an attachment to the OF-286. Block 27, additions, might include reimbursable travel expenses or operating supplies that should have been provided by the government. Block 28 provides the net amount due to the resource for the period represented on the invoice. Blocks 29 through 35 are completed at the time the resource is released from the incident, or when an interim payment is processed. Resources should review the invoice for accuracy prior to signing these blocks. The contractor or cooperator and government official must sign all pages of the invoice for both interim and final payments. Once the emergency equipment use invoice is completed and signed, a copy with supporting documentation is sent to the appropriate payment center, and a copy is retained by the contractor. Follow the host agency's guidance for payment documentation. Cooperators may be required to retain the original invoice to meet agreement payment requirements. When emergency equipment use invoices are properly completed and the required supporting documentation is attached, it ensures that accurate and timely payments are made to contractors and cooperators.